Yeah, right. Let's get cracking. Oh, I don't even have cam on. That's wicked. Fix that up. That's what I get for not doing my little checklist of things. Load. Get bigger. There we go. Yeah, wicked. Yeah, I'm keen to, whenever I finally get affiliate on this channel, is making some emotes. That'll be cool. Alright, so this music's actually a little bit loud for even me. Let's adjust that a little bit. So yesterday, what did we get up to yesterday? So I did do the thing off stream. I set up some version control. I'm using Perforce for my version control. I think I mentioned it yesterday. That's what I used to use at my old work, but apparently it's free if you have under 10 people using it. So I was like, oh shit, well, I've been using this for like 2.5 years, so I may as well use it. So this is my thing. And I think the funniest thing about this is like, so this is like revision number 7 for the server, is I think at Halfbrick, like the revision numbers we were sending in were up to like the 700,000s or something like that. That's how many submissions there've been for like changes and stuff. So it's funny seeing it at the very start and seeing such a low number. And then, so yeah, this is technically now a new project in Unity just because it's now under version control. But if we come into, sure, load main from the main menu, is I went back in and fixed the errors that I was having yesterday with the saving system. So if we create a new save file, assuming it's all going to work, see we had no errors pop up, which is really cool. So if we come in here, let's just set everything to, everything on the first recipe we'll set to 1 and add it. And then on the next one we'll set everything to 2 and add that as well. So if we close the game, restart it, and come back in. So you can see they're both selected. Test recipe 1 has everything set to 1, and test recipe 2 has everything set to 2. So that's the saving function for this panel pretty much complete. So that's pretty cool. So I think today, switch this back to 2D. I'm not on the right screen. I want to be in main. Is I want to do the other panel. So I've done the recipe panel now, and will this theoretically be an infinite game, or do you win at some point? It's probably an infinite game. I mean, I probably, yeah, it's probably infinite because I guess like the goal is to probably get your cafe to reach 5 stars, and I'd say that's technically the end of the game, but just because it is like a tycoon-esque type game, is you can probably just keep playing afterwards. But and I could probably throw in like a few achievements or objectives or something like that for like things to do while you're at max. But I'd say after that point is probably when you'd stop playing. All right, so now we're going to do the shop panel, which looks identical, because it almost is. Well, might as well just get started. No point thinking about it. Hello, BK Dev. How are you this fine? I'm pretty sure you were America, so it's going to be fine afternoon, evening. No, you were UK, weren't you? Oh man, it's too many different places to remember. I know I was speaking to a bit UK person, and that might have been you. Yes, cool. Glad I remembered. I would have felt bad. Um, my least favorite part of any project. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, so I guess I'll quickly show some of the stuff I was working on yesterday. Let me just minimize this for a sec. If I enable the NPCs, I think I might have been doing this when you were last looking. So yeah, the NPCs will come in and like order food now. It's probably going to cause issues because I'm breaking things currently. But yeah, typically I'll have to go back in and fix that at later time. But yeah, they'll come in, they order food. Chef guy brings out food to them, and then they leave. But yesterday I was working on this first panel. Oh, it's because there's no selected recipes. That's why it's not working. I mean, I could probably even just test that straight away and add them back in and see what happens. Close you. 222, yeah, sure. 222, sure. Close. Let's see if that error still exists. No, it doesn't. Cool. So yeah, so he's ordered food. This dude's now cooking it. He's going to bring it out to him. This dude tried to order something, but there was no stock of what of all the recipes, so he just left straight away. And yeah, then he leaves, and then this guy just goes back to idling. Yeah, man, I've been out here. I'm on that grind. But yeah, so he set up all of the functionality for this recipe panel yesterday. So you can see it said like test recipe and stuff like that. But I think the coolest part about it is if I go through the scenes, here we go here. I should probably just turn the recipe panel off for a second. So if we come in here, I'll just create a new save. So upon creating a new save, we come in here. So everything's like on default values. But yeah, if I add, I need to actually add it. So I did this test before. Like change everything here to 1, add it. Change everything here to 2, and add it. I've created all the save functionality for that now. So if I come back into the game, we can see, yep, they're both selected. First recipe has everything set to 1. Second thing has everything set to 2. So I've got all the save functionality and initializing all that data set up for this now, which took more time than I thought I would, because I did all the functionality first, and like I already have my save system set up, but I didn't have it initializing something I would initialize the data. So I did it at like the end of my day yesterday, and it just like kept spitting out so many errors. So I had to put in like a little bit of extra work in the afternoon to fix it all up before today. So I didn't want to be fixing bugs from yesterday. Ooh, you'd even like to wishlist it. Yeah. Well, I think I'm probably still a little while away from creating a Steam page for it to wishlist, but when I do, I'll be probably sharing it multiple times on stream. I've probably you've probably noticed like I've got one bot in here set up that just like after a certain amount of time just sends messages. I'll probably have something like that for the Cafe Haven store page whenever that gets created. Try and farm some wish lists. All right. So let's start on this shop panel. I mean, this setup of this is actually going to be quite similar to the recipe panel. It's got some similar things. So let's just copy all of these over for a second. Because we definitely do need the list, but this is going to be like, oh yeah, it's kind of is a recipe list still here. So list transforms needed, the item prefabs needed. That's kind of just the footer variable, so let's remove that. And we need a list of, these are probably going to be shop items. So let's just create a script for that now. Yeah, yeah, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? Yeah, if you could just create a section of it and it would just serialize all of them, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I guess the way that you can just make it easy is you just make it a public variable and then it just gets in the inspector straight away, but then obviously it's public and very accessible and anyone can get it, so... Oh, I'd called it shop items. Oh, no. Now I have to update the script. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. I think we need this. So we've got the list that fills up on the left. So it's sort of like says left, main panel, which will include all that, and then we'll also have a footer section. So this can all be recipe info. Yeah, that's fine. Header. Not that I should really have to separate this, because it's literally just going to be one thing, but it's fine. M underscore, let's call it total cost text maybe. That's going to cover that. So we've got everything that's going to be needed over there. So now we can look at here. So we do, yeah, we probably will need to store the recipe config. That's fine. Recipe name still is needed. Recipe image is this guy here. Profit text isn't needed. So instead we can call this amount text. Don't need reference to the buttons because they're just always going to be visible. We will need reference to these guys, which is actually what I deleted from this, from here, that I said I wouldn't need them, but I actually might need them. So these are ingredient items. They're all going to have a name. The ingredient amounts are these. So this one's probably going to be ingredient costs, we'll call this one. Burst compile. I've heard of that sort of stuff before. Let's see. I'll have a little look at it as well. And which doesn't allow for indented lists, so can't have a list of struct, which can also have another list. Ooh, yeah, ouch. That's that's what my game is littered with. So ended up just forcing modders to use only 32 generation rules and manually setting out 32 variables. Yeah, that checks out. That's probably, yeah, it's like ugly solution, but yeah, it works. It does what it needs to do. Yeah, cool. I'll leave that as a tab and I'll read that a little bit later. Very cool. Yeah, I think that's the key thing, is like if you don't have to redo anything, it's like, okay, it's probably fine then. Yeah, damn. 20 times faster. That's, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Alrighty, so we're gonna have a private void load list. Is that what I called it in here? I did, cool. We are going to have a private void load panel. It compiles it to machine code instead of intermediate language or whatever. So, yeah. Is not fully compiled. Some of the code is interpreted at runtime. But anyway, I'm nerding out. No, dude, that's fine. I do find all that stuff interesting. I think some of it goes over my head, but I do find like the way that sort of stuff works pretty interesting. When I was at uni, I did do a I think I did one course in like assembly code, and that's rough. But yeah, the fact that like the fact that it compiles it to go down to like machine code to make it run more efficiently, I think that's sick. Yeah, assembly not fun. Yeah, absolutely right, not fun. I did one subject of that. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that again. Alright, so we had a lot of recipe data source stuff here. Oh, is it? You actually could be right there. Let's have a look. Roller coaster. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. Does it have code it's written in anywhere? Come on. Come on. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Roller Coaster Tycoon was programmed by one guy in assembly. Yeah. And there's a comment on his Reddit post is like, and the award for the most patient programmer in the world goes to. That's funny. Okay, so we're going to have an on enable as well. Come on, man. Don't auto do my things. Alright, so that's the skeleton of what I need everything to do. Okay, so I was having all of the data probably makes sense to use the same data source for this. But it has an extra cost, which is probably going to be set on the config, which actually I don't think I've done. I have not done. Okay. Put it under here maybe. Oh, I need to set up the version control onto this. God damn, forgot to do that yesterday. Where's like... This just shows I've been using not Visual Studio for the past like 3 years, so I'm trying to figure out where's the extensions over here. I think there's something in here for P4V. Modifications will begin when Visual Studio is closed. Oh, fine then. Oh, a little bit of a Blizzard launcher in the background. Apparently it was already installed. Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of The War Within. No spoilers if you have. Okay, no spoilers. But yeah, I think I've got 9 max characters at the moment. Not that I'm like intending to play 9 characters, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'll just. So I was just like, oh, I'll just level another one, see what it's like. Oh, Stubby, don't be like that. I'm on your way. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I think in the pre-patch, I leveled every class to 70 at the end of Dragonflight. And yeah, I've been slowly chipping them all back up again. What am I doing here? Oh, come on. Switch on. Yeah, open halfway. Did you fix yesterday's issue? I did, Max. Yeah, I'll give you a little demo of it all working now. Also did some version control stuff as well. God, really should have got used to reusing Visual Studio again. I've been using Rider, JetBrains Rider for like the past 3 years, and a lot more knowledgeable about how, like, where everything is set for that. Bugger it. We'll just... It's a problem for later again, I guess. Public int m underscore... Yeah, okay, it's gonna do that. Okay. Haha, it's all old projects. It's just local, so I don't think it's like leaking an IP address or anything like that, so it's fine. Who's this? This is Cafe Haven Development. We'll see if this even works. Haha, cool. Oh, it's browse. Wonder if I had to do that. Yeah, it did. It was just picking up a different thing. What's... Sure. What's exclamation mark lurk meant to do? If there's like any non-default commands. I know what lurking means in a stream, but I haven't seen like a command that people use for lurking. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Alrighty. Cool, picked up in there, sweet. I just have it set so if someone does lurk, my bot's going to see you soon or something. Ah, cool. You know what? I'll even write that down. Add lurk command. There you go. It's on the whiteboard. It'll get done end of day. So now that Max is back, we can show off this other thing before kicking back into that. So if you come to the main menu, you're always lurking. Hell yes, W. Clear this save file. So if we come in, fresh save, you can see no errors, very cool. So if we go on the first recipe, we'll set everything to 1, add it, set everything in this one to 2, and add it. And if we close the game and come back in, go on the current save file, we can see they're both still added. Test recipes for 1, got everything set to 1. And the second one, everything's set to 2. So the save file and its initializing and saving is all working as intended. Very cool. So now I'm working... yeah, exactly. So now we're working on the next panel, which it's pretty much identical to it, so I'm able to, like, I think, copy how the script's set up for a lot, but obviously this is now when you buy the stock, so that was that other variable that was on the other panel, but in this spot, which is now changed to be money. So I'm just setting up that panel, and then that's kind of like all the recipe-related things implemented, so I think that's, once that's done, then I can move on to probably, man, what would I get done next? Maybe staff panel after that, but set up an extra hour after leaving working on my, yeah, I get it. Like, I got off yesterday and yeah, I like had some stir fry to heat up, and I heated that up, and I'm like watching YouTube on one screen as I'm eating it, but at the same time I'm also debugging the bugs that I left on stream yesterday, because I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to relax until this is just all done. Alrighty, so we've got cost set up there now. Yeah, man, I wish I could remember. I mean, I could probably open up the code. What was the solution? Oh, so I didn't open up all the scripts. That is really frustrating. So if we go to game data, I think it's this guy. So one of the things was because I've like haven't set up all of the data properly yet, and I've only got like debug fake stuff for the when I was testing the save slots out, is I wasn't ever initializing these values. So it's always trying to set it to a null value. So that's what one of the issues was. And then there was also a race condition happening. So if you can remember yesterday, I did try chucking a knit into a weight, and it caused all these other problems. So I went and fixed those other problems. But basically, all the dictionaries and stuff were all getting set up before we actually loaded the save data in, so it couldn't actually read from anything. So it was just adjusting the order of when all of that's getting called. And I think, let's see, what script would have that been in? Recipe list, maybe. Yeah, these guys. I think it could have even been these. I had another problem again when I was using a for each loop. So I'm sure you probably know that when you're iterating through for each loops, it doesn't like you ever editing any of the values that you're iterating over. So I had something like that, so I've just had to change it so it's now for loop, so it doesn't break. And that was what one of the other issues was, I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's rip this and edit it to potentially what we need. Glad to see you got them fixed. Yeah, same. Yeah. This is going to be shop items. I probably could have just done the rename function to this rather than having to manually change all of this stuff. I mean, shop item. Ah, there's still this. Okay, so then we need to set up. We don't have this anymore, so don't need you. So we were feeding in the recipe config. We will still need that. We were also feeding in whether it's selected or not. We don't need that. We will need reference to this, and this is a shop panel. There we go. Okay. I think that's good. So now we can come back into this guy and set up what the prefab needs to have. So the prefab's going to have an icon. Recipe icon. Cool, love it when it disappears. It's going to have a name. And I think there was an amount. Yeah. Yeah, sure, that's good. Love it when it like auto suggests like the correct thing and just saves you a lot of work. We're also going to need some private references to the recipe config and a shop panel. Recipe icon. Recipe name text. text equals config dot recipe name. What am I doing? Hello? This can just be a number, but this is a value we don't actually have yet. So this is haven't worked out where this data type's going to be yet, I think. So I've got like data on individual stock. Using the recipe data source a lot. I don't think it's going to be... I think we're going to have a shop data source, I think is the thing to do here. Let's create one of those. Are you going to make me connect every time I want to create a script? You are. Wow, okay, thanks dude. This doesn't need to be in mono behavior. I think we have a dictionary that uses a recipe config and an amount. So it's going to be an int, and we'll call this shop data. I think I have to make it do that, otherwise it's going to get angry at me. So now all the data can get stored in here. Come back to the shop item. So now we need to use the shop data source, shop data, use the key of the recipe config, as an int, and then we probably have to two-string it. There you go, that's how we're going to get that. Okay. And then in here we're also going to have clicking on it, the button functionality for it. I guess just so I can be consistent, what did I call it in the last one of these recipe item? Load recipe. There you go. Just cheat and do the same things in here. You don't exist yet, so that's fine, we'll comment you out. Okie dokie. So I think this will all be getting initialized correctly now. I need to decide how I want, like when I want this data source to get reset. It's probably after you order it. So it's on the first open, it's reset and it's initialized properly, and when you order it, then it resets things. Yeah, okay. I'll get around it. Alright. Cleanup list. Let's copy how I did that before. Oh, don't do that though. Alright, so loading the panel. I mean, I can just keep using. Whoa, this one was a bit involved, wasn't it? Hidden speedrunning achievement. I mean, there probably will be. I think like, because like the aspect of the game is just like you're meant to experiment to try and find the perfect recipes, and you kind of need that to get a certain thing. Is like there probably will be some achievements in there to kind of get to certain points, like certain points of progression through the game as quick as possible. Um, that's going to be like just optimize of like you know exactly how the game works. So it's like I think like my perfect world things are like to try and create the bit of replayability for it. Is just like on your first save is like you're probably not going to get any of that stuff. You're just going to learn the game on your first playthrough, but it's on the second playthrough of when you know how everything works is when you then try to optimize to go as quick as possible. Yep, exactly, Max. Presto Perfecto. I might even keep that name. Alrighty. So we don't have profit text that we need to deal with, so we can get... Oh, but maybe I just don't profit text. Oh, but that was the thing at the bottom, yeah. We don't need that. Just need to keep reminding myself of what the panel actually looks like. Don't need anything to do with those. The amount is the same as that guy, so can set that up. Oh wait, I think it's actually a good idea to keep this. No, it's not even that, it's that one. So this is shop data source, shop data contains key recipe config, and then we're going to say the amount text equals that, else add it. 0. And it's just this again. Cool, cool. Yeah, honestly, that's like the most fun part of when I was creating the two of us was obviously while it was just a university project, it was just like very bare bones. But when I decided I wanted to put it onto Steam, was like getting Steam functionality working on it was awesome. Like even though like all the UI in that game is just shocking, it's just like I could tell it's a university project, but like yeah, getting it to show up that like you can see other friends that are in the two of us like appear on a panel and like the joining of that and then like setting up achievements that work on Steam as just like getting all that functionality working. That was so fun. That was like I can remember when I first got the panel and the two of us working for being able to see your friends that are in the game and like being able to invite them to a game. Like I think I got that code finished at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was just like, this is awesome. I can't pull hours like that anymore, though. Pass out if I try to stay up that long trying to do code, and definitely won't be able to think logically and write code at that time in the morning. Getting old happens, yeah. I mean, I probably can't even say that I'm too old. Like, what am I? I guess I'm starting to get to the age where I don't even know how old I am. It's this year. I think I'm 27. Um, I feel like it's like every year, probably after like 25, is like you just don't care anymore. Like it's probably like it's only like big milestone birthdays after 25, where it's like probably 30, and then it's probably just in decades and 30, 40, 50. And it's like the only times that you know exactly how old you are. Any time in between, it's just like, oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I can't do all. Can't even remember the last time I've done all nighters. Like every now and again, I might game late. Like I can game probably until I think recently I did might have done like a 2 a.m. But that's kind of like gaming is just like I can kind of be a bit more switched off for it. But yeah, the last time I done an actual all nighter, that's a very long time ago. Okay, so we have name, costs, and amounts. Last time I did one was because I got swapped to a night shift for work and went till like 8 a.m. Barely made it home. Funny you say that. I reckon that's probably the last time that I have done an all-nighter. It was when I used to work overnights. um, yeah, I think the shift for those was 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. And man, that's just rough. Like I had to quit that job so quickly because I'm just like, this is just like, ugh. Yeah, you never want to do them, Max. Trust. Like even if you get used to them, I just still think it's like it's just not good. Like I can remember like yeah, there's a few times like driving home in the morning. It's just like I'm like half falling asleep. I'm like yeah, this is so not good. I think this is when I was still at university, was when I was doing that, because I can remember there was once where I did an overnight shift and then went to university that morning as well, so I was just like on no sleep, and I'm like, that was just yuck. I don't know how people could do that. Yeah, I have a nap earlier in the day. I'm like, it's like the one thing that I'm still like holding off on at the moment is just like not giving in to taking naps during the day, because I don't know, like even though like don't get me wrong, it's like every day I could probably nap. Like as soon as it hits like 2 in the afternoon or something like that, like I could go for a little nap. But I'm just like, nah, I need to like not, because I reckon I'm definitely the person that's like I would go for a nap and then I'm the person where you like wake up 4 hours later and you're like, oh fuck, what did I do? amounts cost. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah. Costs and amounts we need. All right, so the costs, that's easy. That's just getting set from the config. Wait. Oh, I'm so cooked. The way I set that up in the config is just already wrong, because I did like the cost of the whole item, but that's not correct. It's going to be in here. Because I could see how this was set out. I'm like, actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Needs to be a 2-string. But so I guess something that I can chat about as well. So in the prototype I've used, and I think I've literally already got it in the project as well, is like using a dollar sign. But I think something I want to do, I've got it up here as well, is I think I want to create like my own fictional currency for the game, because I think it's probably just a me thing, but maybe other people, it's just like, for me, if it's using a real currency, is I kind of associate it with real logic. So like in the prototype, you're paying someone like $10 a day, I think, and the food is costing like a lot of money. And yeah, it's just like the way that they like look, it just, for me, is just like, oh, this feels weird. Because then like flow bucks, yeah, exactly. I think I might have to do something like that. Because yeah, it's just logically, because I'm just like, okay, well, I want the player to be able to actually make a lot of money, like in profit, but because I have everything set to real values and I'm making everything seem real, it's like they're only getting like $12 profit a day, and I'm just like, this seems like it's going to be like really dumb. So I was just like, okay, well, maybe I'll make a fake profit up, because if I just use a fake profit that has no meaning to anyone, it's just like you can't really question the logic of it then, because you're just like, oh, it's just game logic. So I think because of that, I might be able to get away with not having a symbol in this, so I can just keep it a 2-string. I was thinking, I was like, I might need to amend like a dollar sign in there, but I'm not using it, so we're fine. Flowbox, yeah, right. Yeah, right. We could do that, Flowbox. I'll put it in. I'll put it on the board. Well, where's cost? Put it on here. Flowbox. uh, Cafe of the designers could be associated with what you call the fake currency. Yeah, exactly. So I think there's like a lot of things like that where it's just like, when it comes down to when I'm putting like the final touches on the game, and that's going to be like one of the things is like the, yeah, what I want to call certain things is like at the end. So it's like at the moment, it's like I'm just getting functionality in, and once I start doing that, that's when I'll work on the visual side and the polish side of things. And I think it's when I start doing that stuff that I can then really fine tune some of the things. Um, all right, so shop panel. So we've still got the amount text to get in here. That's actually just this, I think, because we're storing it in that recipe data. Yeah, very cool. Alright, then we need to clean up the panel. How did I clean up the panel last time? Cool, just turned everything off. Very cool. Alright, so that's kind of the initializing, so we need to then set up these guys down here. Oh no, I didn't I set? Oh man, I'm so cooked. Yeah, I've done that. So I've set the amount. That's correct. So I haven't done what this total is going to be over here. And then I just say that's also a button as well. So that, and then set up all the button functionality. Okay. So let's have doesn't need to be update. Update total cost, we'll call it. And underscore total cost text dot text equals. We actually need the functionality to be able to do this, so we're reading from two different data sources. So we need to go through all of the recipe data, and if that recipe data then also exists in the shop data. No, I think you do it the other way around. I think you go through all the shop data, then compare that against the other thing. Okay, so we're only setting a value, so we can go int cost for now equals 0. I think we can use a for each loop, and we're not changing any values, so it should be fine. For each recipe in shop data source, shop data. Wait, I can remember. I hated doing this because I need to get the config that's out of it. Wait, no, I think you can. If it's like this, it's fine, because then you can do like recipe dot key, and the recipe key is a recipe config, I think. So for each thing, so everything that's in the shop data source, we've added. So we can go if, just have another checking it recipe. Have you done leet code problems? I don't think I have. What is leet code? Knowledge and prepare for technical interviews. Wow. I feel like I'd probably suck at that. What about you? Have you done many leet code problems? Like 30. God damn. That seems like a high number. I don't know like how technical each one of the things are, but it seems like a fair amount. can range from strings to hash maps to various data structures. Interesting. A for each and a for each loop. Thoughts? Oh man, I can already just see multiple for loops happening. So what did I say I wanted to do? So we're going through each of the shop data source, but then we need to find... Yeah, but we already have a reference to the recipe, so we can go each bar ingredient in recipe data source dot recipe data. And we can feed in the recipe dot key. Recipe data is going to have a list of ingredient data, which is where we're going to be storing the amount. Oh, this is getting gross already. So we can go cost plus equals ingredient dot amount times it's going 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think actually this should be a for loop so I can index it properly. So we want amount, and then we want to access recipe dot key. That's getting the config dot ingredients is a list, so we get index it with I. Cost. I think that's it. So for every going through the for loop, nested, it's a bit gross. Cost plus equals the amount we've set in the recipe data times the cost times this amount. So I think we can do that outside the for loop. So if cost times times equals we're not in the for each loop anymore. Why did I put it down there? Oh. Wait, what? it's meant to be down there. Man, I'm cooked. I think that's how we upgrade the total cost. We're going to have a public method for... Oh, and this is going to have something we haven't even set up yet. We don't even have money implemented in the game yet, but it's okay, we can do that later. Okay, so how often do we want this total cost updating? Kind of like everywhere. Like when the panel loads, we want to update the total cost. Actually, it's even just like, I can probably optimize this a bit better. When it inits, put the total cost in. And it's whenever we add or remove things, we're going to update the total cost. So we can put them on the buttons. I can remember how I did this in prototype. So 1.5 plus 1. So I could do this with 2 methods to cover both. Yeah, okay, let's do it. So we're going to go add items, and we're going to put in an int amount just so we can do 1 or 5. Remove items. I think we want shop data plus equals amount. We'll want the amount text. So then we also need to add the amounts up in the top left in the list. I actually have an idea. I didn't do this in the... I didn't do this in the prototype, but I think this might actually be the better way to do it. Shop item. And then let's just... Yeah, where do I even want to... Let's just put it at the top so I can see it. Yeah. Public void set current item.
item. So we can go m underscore current item equals item. And before I forget where it's going to be getting done, it's in here. So it's when we load the recipe in here. So we want to go m underscore shop panel. What did we even just call it, man? I am so fried. Set current item. This. So now we can edit that guy directly. So when we come down here, we can go m underscore current item. I mean, we don't really want to make it set itself back up again. Yeah, let's create another thing here that's going to be public void update amount. Which means, just so I don't have the same code written everywhere, it calls update amount, which then does this. Cool. Is less than 0. So when we update the amount, we're probably also wanting to update the total cost. Okay, we did have something in here for update panel. So, I wonder if that's everything. Once again, going to need to incorporate save data into this at some point, but for the initial setup, I have a feeling this could be it. Let's go ahead and set everything up and see what I've missed. The list transform. Recipe count, what are you? I didn't rename this. Total cost. Technically this is actually a button, so I should call it the purchase button. But I'm getting sidetracked. Don't need to do that yet. Oh, we actually haven't even made the prefab yet, so that's something that I did miss. Let's do that now. So it's going to be called shop panel. Icon. Name. Amount. There we go. mount text. Ingredient items. Title, 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 title. God. I thought I've nested them so deep into each of these. Cost. Mount text, there we go. Have I missed one? Amount text, yeah. Really should be wearing my glasses doing this. Struggle. Oh, whoa, ease up, Turbo. Costs, and then quantity. Number. Okay, now we need this guy. Which I'm pretty sure was up here. Let's just close all of these now. Purchase button. Okay. I definitely didn't set up this button to do... Currently it's not even a button, so that's... Button. Ah, shop panel, not button. Oh, I didn't have the right... Man, I'm... Oh no! Control Z. Oh. Oh, almost pranked myself then. I would have been very upset. Had the inspector locked, so I was still editing the panel even though I was in a different prefab view. Man, that would have been very sad. Thanks, load recipe. So shop panel. Yeah, I added a button onto him for no reason. Whoa, you don't need to be a button. You're all good, sir. Alright. We do need the purchase button to have some functionality, which I haven't actually implemented yet, but that's okay. Purchase items. Then what? The add buttons. Have I not made these guys buttons yet? I did, they're just one deep. That's really irritating. Two add buttons. Add items. I think I made them childs because it had to do with the sorting group. Remove items, so remove 1. That's a 2. Remove 5. Add 1. Add 5. I think that's all the functionality. Let's see what breaks. So excited. I haven't set up the button up here to open the shop panel yet. And then while I'm here, the shop panel. Oh, hello. What happened then? Set active false. Something broke. Hasn't been added at this point. So it's when we're setting up the item, which is here. Yeah, that's actually silly in hindsight, because it's not until down here that we're actually putting in the data for it. Wonder if I can just put that in the shop item. Because regardless, it needs to be in the shop data source, even if it is still 0. So maybe that's fine to do it like that. Oh, I forgot to put those on. Alright. Oh, cool. Those actually stay... I haven't set up stock yet, have I? No, that's cost. Because the cost, I haven't actually set up the costs of anything yet. Okay, let's do that just so I can confirm that that's working. Recipes, test recipe 1. Honestly, I should stop calling them test recipes and just call them something so it's less confusing. But anyway, we'll make chicken 5. Lettuce can be cheap at 1. This can be 2. This can be 2. Coffee beans. Coffee beans are actually pretty expensive. So just a 3, 2, 1. Five, 1, 2, 2. 3, 2, 1. Yep. So let's run a what's that? Oh, that's my ignore file. I actually wanted a calculator. This is working properly. If we were to add 1 of these, I really could be doing this in my head. 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4. Should be $20 to add one. 20. Huge. We take that. So then if I were to remove one, moves it to 0. Add 5 is going to be 100. Cool. And what about this guy? Wait, we didn't set up the plus minus of all of these yet. Oh man. That's fine. Beans are 3, 2 of those are 6. 4, that's 10, 12. 112, we put one on. Cool. 12 times 5. Quick math, not doing it. 60. If we add 5, it should be 60. Whoa, whoa, what happened then? Holy shit, we just broke something. Likely harasser restricted, not published to chat. Oh, so you guys don't even get to see those messages. Oh no, this one just... I think they normally do show up, but this one didn't. Yeah, you can get banned, good sir. Suspicious user harasser restricted. Get absolutely rinsed. Account created 2 days ago. Me not knowing how to use... It's just not published to chat, so I guess I don't need to delete it because it's... whatever. Yeah, so we have a weird bug going on there. So 12's working as intended, but adding 5 here is killing it. So let's go find out what in my code I broke. So if I can... That button's like adding 5, taking 5, adding 5, taking... Wow, okay, something pretty sus is happening there. I didn't mess up. If I go just in the scene view here, click on old mate, remove 5. Ha! I can already see one problem. That's a sick one. We removed one parent, and the remove 5 actually reversed. So you're 5, you're 1, but this side's correct. Do I have... Just quickly check that code. Shop panel. Remove items, negative equals, plus equals. Yeah, that's right. So let's add... Okay, now we just broke something. Oh, yeah, that is a... Yep, didn't account for that. We can fix that bug up straight away. So I've got that button getting assigned when you actually click. Where did I have it? Shop item. Yeah, here. So setting the current item is getting called only when you press the button. So we're never actually setting it properly. So I think we can fix that really easily. So it's when we're doing this, if the recipe config's null, which is when we haven't clicked anything, current item equals, do that. That should fix that bug. Okay, the amount's getting bugged there. Probably know what's causing that, but that's fine. Let's just act like it doesn't exist for now. Come across to this guy, and when we were clicking 5 on this, it was just doing that, yeah. Doubling it. Okay, so 2 bugs we want to fix. Notepad those down. So we've got plus and minus buttons affecting the footer amount 1 or 5 emount, nice, and ordering second recipe is doing boosted additions. Alright, let's have a look at that code then. So I want to start with the very top thing. The plus and minus buttons are doing silly things. It's probably my bad. Amount text is doing amount. Yeah, so already. It's because I'm just setting it to whatever that value was. It's dumb. What we actually needed is this. So that's that bug done, fixed. So the ordering is doing dumb things. So update the total cost. So update the total cost is getting called every time we're adding an item, and every time we're adding an item, we're going to be going through. Okay. I think I know what the problem is. It's going through and adding, so the problem is, like, so it's working when you do the first recipe because that's the only data that exists, so it's like a big who cares. But when you're adding the second data, it's then going back through and adding all of the first data again, so it's duplicating it. Actually, but when you add 1, it's still correctly doing just 12. But when you're doing 2, it's... Okay, I just need to check the math on that again, just so I can see what's happening. I mean, we can test that this is working now. Yeah, cool. Bring it back down to 5, so 100. So when we come to this, it's doing 12. So let me just write it down. 5 T1 equals 100, and 1 T2 equals 112. But then when we have 5 T1 equals 100 and 2 T2, it's equaling 100. It's equaling 224. So adding the second one of that is now doubling it. So we can see what that's going to be. So we come in here for each. Oh, no, I mean, that should. I'm resetting the cost to be, so it should only be ever equaling the same thing. So costs, so we're going through each recipe in the shop data source. If the shop data source has an amount, we're going to do some logic. So then we go for each. So for int I equals 0, while I is less than getting the current recipe count, cost plus equals the amount. So I mean, let's just map this out, right? So cost plus equals, so if we want to do that, let's pop, it's going to be config, so it's going to be on the right side. So this guy. So recipe data key amount is set in my data source, which I know is set up correctly. So amount, I can't remember what it's going to be. It's going to be like 2, let's say. So 2 times the cost, 6. Did I do 2 for all of these? 2, 6, 4, 10, 12. Okay, yeah, so it's 2. 2 for all of them. So the amount is two times 3, 6. So plus equals 6. So cost at the moment, oh, okay, I think I can see what's going to be going wrong. I think it's the fact that I am using that cost value. I'm going to try experimenting with it a bit. I probably could have used logic to figure this out a bit more. So I think we're going to have 2 variables here. We're going to have total cost and int recipe cost equals 0. But recipe cost, I think, is going to be in here. So for each recipe, we're resetting the value of it. So in here, we're going to go recipe cost. Let me just think if that's correct. So yeah, after going through all of this, it's going to equal 12. And then we're saying times that by, yeah, how, of the amount we have in the shop data. So that's correct. So that's going to be the total cost of how many copies we have. So then I think we go total cost plus equals recipe cost. And then I think we do total cost to string. Yeah, I think that's actually correct because we were never resetting this variable out here. So I think once we go through like all of the recipes in one, it's still got a big amount and we're timesing that amount by that data. So I think now that I'm resetting this variable, I think this is the fix. I think and I hope. So let's order 5 of those. We know that's 100. And we do 5 of these is 60. I think that's correct. 12 times 5 is 60. Cool. And if we take away 1, it's only going to take away 12. Yep. 5, 4. Does it save them? 4. Yep, cool. Pretty cool so far. So still need to implement the buttons. So let me just write that down on my notepad thing again. So have it in here, go amount buttons. We can go purchase button. Which actually no, we'll do this. So go reset data source on new order. We'll need to define what's going to be a new order and what's not. And then after all of that's done, which should be all of the functionality required there, purchase button actually is going to need to update stock and then sync with save file. And that should be what's left of this panel. Okay. Just let me be right back real quick. Sorry about that. Doggo was barking. Just have to sort him out so he's not running amok. Cool. So let's do the amount buttons. Can still some functionality for this here. Now here, that's actually correct. Increment the ingredients. Huh. I mean, all of that is correct straight away, which is really cool. We're gonna have to do some stuff that it updates the cost live. I can remember this thing was on the prototype, it was really buggy, but we can attempt to do. I mean, I think I've got everything set up in a way that I can just call a couple of methods and it's going to re-update, but so we need to come onto here and it's in each of these. Oh, God. Are you the button? Yeah, you are. Okay, cool. So we can close all of the other stuff in here just to make it more readable for me. Cost. Due cost. Okay, so all of these guys need to have a button added to them. They're going to need reference to the shop panel. All the negative guys are going to need decrement ingredient. All the positive guys are going to need increment ingredient. And now we sort out the panels themselves. Those ones remain at 0. These ones will go to 1. These guys will go to 2. And these guys will go to 3. I think that's now those set up correctly. We need to adjust the amount. No, the amount's going to be fine. It's the cost that changes based on these amounts. So does that just mean we just run update total cost? Because it's going to run through all that. I think so. If it works straight away, I'm going to be super stoked. Means I've actually wrote some code that makes sense for once. Oh, something broke. Oh, probably the fact that this panel started open. Probably didn't like that, as a guess. Probably some race condition sort of stuff. Now we open it. It's working fine. So, let's just add 1, because we know it's 20. So if we add 1 more chicken, it should add bath or showers. I'm a shower guy, big shower guy. Should add extra 5, cool. Extra 1, cool. Extra 2, cool. Extra 2, cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know the last time I would have had a bath. Mainly due to the house I'm in. Like, I mean, it's got a bath, but it's a pretty, like, not a great bath. Yeah, I reckon the last bath I would have had would have been at least 2007. I reckon I'm gonna call it, because I reckon I think I had a bath in my old house, and I haven't lived there since like 2006 to 2008, that range. So yeah, very long time. What about you, Max? Are you a bath or a shower guy? Okay, I think that's all working correctly. Cool. Shower gang all the way. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go. Alrighty, so the amount buttons are done. Now we need to do the purchase button. So for this, we basically need to do something similar to what we were doing in here. For each, we'll copy paste it. Oh, we actually need a total cost as well. Let's save the total cost as a private variable, just so it's easier to track. Yeah, in here, private int m underscore total cost. So this is where the check's going to be like if m under total cost is greater than our money. That's where we're going to have a check. lost for now. So I think for this, I mean, I probably need to open up the... Where do I have all that saved? Is the cafe manager, I believe. This guy. So let me just rip a screenshot of that, just so I can see what that's doing. Come back to the shop panel. So for each, this is where we're getting the amounts. So I think we actually do want to rip a cafe manager instance dot add stock, and we're going to need to get the ingredient itself, which I think we get from this, 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 and then we need the amount, which is going to be this. Actually, I don't like having numbers in like this, so let's just go int amount equals ingredient times, nope, it's m amount times that. And then we put the amount in here. Okay, and once we've added all of the stock, we want to... Oh, okay, I can already see. Already see a problem. I mean, no, I think this will actually work. So if we go shop data source, shop data clear, and then we just re-initialize everything again. So we just, I mean, shit, we could probably just call init again, because that's going to reset, it's going to re-initialize everything, and then re-initialize this guy, so he has data in there, so you can start using it again, I think. Once again, will this actually work as intended? Who knows? So I think now that we've actually got this in there, we can pretty sure get rid of this guy. Because now this was a way to add stock, which we've got now, and we can do that flow by ourselves. So or at least we might be able to. So if we come in here, order 10 of those, order 10 of these. We need to update that. I don't think I did. But let me just, can probably rip this in the notepad I got going. So, whoop, hello. If we have 10 chickens, we're saying 2, so the chicken stock should equal 20. Really should be easy that. Lettuce will be 10. The fuck? Got like... Oh, it's probably from putting my shoes on. It's got dirt on it. Lettuce 10. Mayo equals 10. And cheese equals 20. And then for coffee, beans is going to equal to 20. Milk is going to equal to 20. And sugar is going to equal to 10. So if we click order, cool, everything got reset, we've ordered it. So if we come to the recipe panel now, cool, and we've got stock. Chicken 20, correct. Lettuce 10, correct. Mayo 10, correct. Cheese 20, correct. Beans 20, correct. Milk 20, correct. And sugar 10, correct. Let's go. And if that's all set up, it means if I spawn the NPCs in now, they will all be able to order food and be happy. Ordered food, we happy. Ordered food, we happy. And ordered food, we happy because we have tons of stock. Let the last guy do a thing. Man, I should implement this speed feature, but it can be done at a later date. Not entirely important for now. Wait for him to leave as well. Cool, when we check our things, we can see... Looks like 1 coffee was ordered. So it means technically 2 chicken burgers should have been ordered, which is the case. God, I love it when things work. Sweet. So that means the purchase button is done. We are resetting the data source. That's partly done, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, it can save it until you purchase, right? I think we are going to need, like, I did have something in the recipe panel that's kind of, like a setup day sort of thing. That's what I'm thinking. But I think, like, maybe it's fine to just leave that in there until you purchase the order. Yeah, I think we could probably leave the data source for now. I've kind of reset it. If I do need to change it at a later date, I think I can. So that's done. Cool. And now on to syncing with the save file. So we already know that this thing normally causes tons of issues. So let's see if I've learnt anything from yesterday at making it easier for myself. So stock. Stock is recipe ID. Man, do we even need to save the stock like that? But it kind of doesn't store the recipe ID. Especially because... Okay, we might need to actually alter how I've originally laid this out, because I think the way I'm going to do this data is slightly different now, because now I'm... Yeah, the stock is literally just a list of ingredients. And then an integer. me just confirm that on the recipe panel when we're updating the stock. Is just getting the ingredient. Okay, so it means we realistically only need to install the ingredients in that save file. So if I'm doing that, I can just have a list of, it stores every ingredient in the save file and then just how much you have of that ingredient. Which means I need a list of ingredients. For it to get the size of it, or no, I could probably get away with just using, yeah, it's more just initializing it for the first time, I think, sketch. So we can say each, so 0 is the first ingredient, 1 is the second ingredient, and we can just get that by the length. Okay, we can just initialize, I mean, does it even need to be an initialized thing at the start? I mean, let's just say maybe it does. So we can go m underscore stock equals, yeah, new int. I mean, for now, I mean, I've got to do magic numbers, so it covers everything. And there's a maximum of 4 ingredients per thing. So that's initialized now, you're done. And we do have Cafe Manager is instanced, and that is holding all of the stock. I actually can get rid of all of this debug stuff now. Very clean to get rid of that out of my thing. We don't have any start stuff. Oh, but we will have start when we initialize the save data. So we come down here, let's just make a region for saving. End region. So we're gonna have a public void save, private void load. Woo. Now Cafe Manager is gonna have a lot of extra save data that we're gonna need in there. But for now we're only dealing with stock. Alright, I think I might even think better if I'm standing up as well. So let's go into standing mode. Whether it actually does help me think or not is going to be another thing, but alright, cool. So when we're saving, we are wanting to save. Okay, so we're going to create a new 2D int array called stock equals new int array. The size is going to be m underscore stock dot keys dot count. Four. think that's right. So then we can go for each var ingredient in is this correct? I just think that through. So we're going to go through each ingredient. I don't think we should actually do it as a for each. I think we should do it as a for loop. While I is less than that I++. So this is going to update. Yeah, and then we're going to have print j. While j is less than I think you do like m underscore stock. M stock. And it needs a reference to the ingredient, which we can actually grab. Wait, how do we get the ingredient? Am I high? So the problem with dictionaries is I don't know how to properly iterate over the next thing, m stock. So maybe I do have a for each loop because I know that way I can access things properly. Var. We'll work through it in keys, and then maybe here we can have a for in I, or I is less than m underscore stock ingredient dot length. Does it count? Ingredient is a, yeah, ingredient. For each ingredient, no, I think I am actually goofing here. Because if we only set it to, like, this is why I think we need a list, because it's going to need to store everything and how much it has of that ingredient, because it's not going to, let's just say we only have coffee beans and milk. If we only have a list that's, you know, too big, how's it going to then distinguish what that is? Yep, alright, we're making a list. We're making a list. Come back to you. Wait for Unity to be finished compiling nothing because I just commented it all out anyway. So on, I'm gonna need actually a lot of, I mean, I can probably try and optimize the code so it's not as bad. We're gonna have a ingredient list. Yeah, sure. Keep connecting me to the same thing over and over again. It's really fun. Hell yeah, version control. Woo, woo! Ingredient list is going to need to be static, public, static ingredient list, instance, get private set. We're going to have a serialized field private list of, we're going to call it ingredient config, m underscore ingredients. So we need to create that script. We're going to have a public systems generic public list of ingredient config called get ingredient list. Return m underscore ingredients. So let's now create that script. Wait. Ooh, nice. No, you can actually just make it straight away if you go scripting a scriptable object script. Okay, I might add to the list to refactor to use ingredient configs. And then in here, you're just going to have a public ingredients dot ingredient called m underscore ingredient. And this is where I actually think we do have public string m underscore, because we're moving everything out of the config eventually. So we can have ingredient name, and we're actually also going to have that cost that we had set up before, so public m underscore cost. So this is everything we need in here. So in the ingredient list, we haven't actually created the instance of this yet, so let's go in awake. If, wait, no, that's right, if instance does not equal null, destroy game object, return, instance equals this. And then we can set up in the cafe manager. Is that, no, yeah, that's where we were making that save stuff before. This is now going to be ingredient list dot instance dot get ingredient list dot count. So now it's fine for it to initialize small because we're going to be resetting it anyway, but when it loads back in, it should have the correct data. We'll deal with the loading stuff later. We might have to alter some things. So now we have a big list. So now we can go through the keys. No, I think we go for each of the stock. So we can go if ingredient. Okay, but this is where, man, I just keep jumping all over the place. I'll keep trying to use the for each because then I can see what I'm doing. I think this is where we will have a for, and then we're going to go. We need to compare the ingredient. Which I think we can do if we go for int I, while I is less than, let's use that because it's going to go through every ingredient. I plus plus if really slow thinking about this. I dot ingredient equals ingredient dot key. So they're the same ingredient. Oh man. For each loop in a for loop in another. Wow, this is yuck code. Or j is less than mstock dot. But I'm like already looping through this, right? But we need to iterate. We're iterating out of every of the keys here, but now we're going for the ingredients. So okay, if it's less than stock dot. No, I think you go ingredient dot value. Wait, no, we're already getting the single ingredient. Man, I am so fried. It's just 2D arrays. Whenever I'm dealing with 2D arrays, like I feel like my brain just shuts down and doesn't realize what I'm trying to do. So I mean, this isn't even correct. Does stock even need to be a 2D array? Because now I'm just storing every ingredient in the stock save file, so I just probably need enough. It doesn't even need to be a 2D array, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking it can just be a normal array. Alright, let's adjust it. See what dies here. because then we can just go I don't know. We'll find out really quickly if it's going to be broken, so let's just implement it and see what happens. Stock I equals ingredient dot value. So we can get rid of U. Okay, so when we're loading in the data, let's just copy how we did it in the recipe list. Which apparently I do. There we go. So load for start. We're going to rip one of these. Okay, so we're going to grab the array. Wait, that's saving. I'm cooked. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to grab the stock from our data. So we go int array stock equals data dot get stock. So you're going to be as long as the recipe list. So let's go for int I equals 0. Don't like the formatting that it automatically did with no spacing, that's fine. If ingredient list dot instance dot get ingredient list, don't need a null check, I dot ingredient, wait. So we can still have that in a second, but all we're checking here actually is just if stock I is greater than 0. And then we're going to be going m underscore stock, which means we should probably reinitialize the stock here, m underscore stock dot clear. Add. We need an ingredient. The amount is going to be stock I. Doesn't like that because we need to get the ingredient. I wonder if the save file is as simple as that. So when did we call load? Called it in start. And then we need to call save from game data when we call that other one. Cafe manager.instance.save. It's going to have more. I should probably call it save data as well, just to keep it more consistent. So on destroy, it's going to save it. You don't need to initialize it. All right, let's see what breaks. My favorite thing to do. So let's clear that save data. Wait, no, I can just do that from the main menu. I can stop doing that. Main menu. So stock should be at 0. This will probably confirm if I need to add null checks. If I open this, yeah, it's killing shit. So we're eventually going to need to add null checks in there. But for now, let's do the same as what I did before, just to keep it consistent. I think I did. These broke. Okay, so I think I killed the game by opening that thing early. That, or it's just everything is broken. Just errors everywhere. 2 chicken, 1 lettuce, 1 mayo, 2 cheese is what I did. Yep. Add 10 of those. We had 2 beans, 2 milk, 1 sugar. Let's add 10 of those. Order. So now they all exist in here. Let's just set the profit to 2 for both of them. Error. Whoa, first error. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's just see if anything got saved, or if that null ref is just breaking everything. Probably will be. Yeah, everything's hard broken. Let's find out what you are. Dude, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. How many times did I say it yesterday of just like when I add, like create instance things and never actually add them to the scene? Like there's just multiple things I need to do, because now there needs to be a ton of ingredient configs that we need to make. Oh, is that stock gonna... we'll see what happens. Cafe Haven, ingredient config. Chicken. I haven't set these up yet, but... then we have... lettuce, I think, was next. Mayo, I think I had cost as 1. What do I have cost as 2? I mean, I can check it actually. Just want to keep everything the same. Mayo and cheese were both cost 2. Cost 2. Okay, then we also have coffee beans. Beans. I think I had cost as 3 for that. I think I had 321 from memory. 321, yep. Milk. And sugar. I can already tell you right now, like one of the things that I'm like kind of scared of is whenever I do get to the end of development of this and when I just need to start generating content, so if it's like making a shit ton of recipes that are going to have a shit ton of ingredients, is just like the amount of work to go into all of the configs that I have to create. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. I'm going to leave them in a weird order because I don't know if it actually matters or not. I'm going to hope it doesn't, because then it can just be like alphabetic order. But so we come back into scenes now, get back into the main menu. Once this is up and running, actually, I can probably test that my save slot functionality works, which would be pretty cool. No errors so far, we love to see that. 2, 1, 1, 2. 10. I mean, it's fine. I feel like that cost is different than I swear this was 200 last time. Maybe I had it like that. I had 2 of everything. But I'm not doing that again. Alright, we want 20 chicken. We want 10 lettuce. We want 10 mayo. And we want 20 cheese. Yep, cool. Order. 20, 10, 10, 20. Profit 2, add. 20, 20, 10. Profit 2, add. Close you. No errors. Good start, good start. I realize I probably should have made all of the ingredients different values. Broken. Cool. Alright. I've been standing up for roughly 30 minutes. I can sit down and try and think my way through this one now. Admittedly, this was the bug I was getting before that I said I needed to fix anyway. So, getting it now, I guess, means that one, I get to fix the bug, and it's also then going to solve the issue. So what are we looking at? 170. So it's saying that at this point, the stock hasn't been added, which it should have, because the stock should exist after doing this. So we're going to have to step through that and see. We'll step through both of them and see what's getting saved and then what's getting loaded. Just double check that we are loading the data. Alright. Put some breakpoints here. Attach to Unity. And let's get debugging. Glad I'm doing this earlier in my day than I was doing yesterday. Feel like I have a bit more brain power left. Oh, just... I don't want to do it yet. Create a new save as well. I'll change the ingredient amounts actually to be all different as well. Delete you, open. Count 7. That's fine. potentially saw an issue then, but we'll ignore it. So let's go 1, 2, 3. I didn't allow for 4. I've got it capped. Probably fine though, right? Like, so let's say chicken's going to be 10, lettuce is going to be 20, mayo is going to be 30, cheese is going to be 30. Let's add 10 of those. Come to the next one. Let's start it from the top. So we're going to go beans 3, milk 2, sugar 1. So beans will be 30, milk will be 20, sugar will be 10. Order mills. Come in and set the profit on these. So just check we are debugging. Yep, cool. Close. All right. So step over. Stock is 7 long. So for each ingredient in M stock, has all of them. So if we come in, cheese, chicken. Try again. Chicken, chicken. Cool. So now we're going to come inside of this and set the stock to 10. So I think that's working as intended. You can double check that it's going to come in again. Ingredients now coffee beans. Whoa, whoa, hang on. That's... Maybe we, once we leave the for each loop, put a breakpoint there. And we can check what's in stock. Okay, we can see... Wait, it actually needs to be after it, doesn't it? It needs to be here. Yeah, because that's at the end of the for each loop. So when it gets to here, that's when we've actually loaded all the stock. So we've got 30, 10, 30, 20, 30, 20, 10. So it's saved all the data, that's correct. And now we need to see what gets initialized. Step over, stock. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Love that. So the stock's empty. Wait. And it's initialized at 10. Which means... if that's initialized at 10... Let me just read the rest of this data. So, recipe status. It's saved all of those. It's saved the selected recipes, but the stock is broken. So it's initializing that back at 10. Oh my god, I know what the problem is. God, man, I like... You know, sometimes it's just clear that my brain's not on. So we say I did the correct check. I'm like, oh yeah, everything's in stock, but we never actually went back and added it. This actually can be outside the region, I realize now, because every save data is going to need it. Yeah, so that's my bad. I'm pretty sure that fixes all the issues I was just having. So let's just rip it. It's not actually going to fix one of the bugs that I just saw a second ago, but delete the save. So we're 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. Add 2 of those, order them. Come to here. Profit 2. Profit 2. Data saved successfully. Very cool. Look at that. I think that actually saves. Chicken should be 10, lettuce should be 20, mayo 30, cheese 30, profit 2, 30, 20, 10. Cool. Save file working. So as like a thing that I can test now to see if I've got my save slot functionality working is let's create a new save and just order different values. And have like the profit set something different as well. So you're brand new. In here, we're going to go... Let's just do like 20 for everything. Be easy to track. Order. And let's leave the profit. Let's do the profit at, can I do 5? 4. We'll do 4. Close. Save data, save successfully. Man, that's a horrible string. It's only in there for testing anyway. So we've just saved that on the second save slot, but if we come back into the first save slot, we've still got 10, 20, 30, 30, profit 2. Cool. And then we leave. Probably should have something that I can quit back to menu. That'd be pretty cool. And then come on to the second one. This one should all be 20s. 20, 20, 24, 20, 20, 24. Holy shit, my save slots are working as well. Man, I love that. God, feeling really good about that. So I do think we still have a bug that is on a fresh save file. So we can delete these guys now. Opening this up for the first time breaks. Yeah, so I think we'll fix that bug next. So it's because the stock doesn't exist, which is true. So I think an easy fix for that is we can do if but it's more than the fact that the key doesn't exist. I think that's what the problem is. So maybe we do like cafe manager dot contains key. Whoa, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Scary. So, oh my god, I just keep fat fingering like F11 and F12, and that's what's fucking causing that. That's so annoying. Alright, so if it does contain the key, we can do this. Else, so if it doesn't contain the key, we can just add it, right? So you go nstock.add. And we have no stock of whatever that item is. And then once it's been added, we can run that code. Look at that. I think it might be just because I've got them set at 0 by default. We'll test that out, but they should be initialized at... I mean, that's not what I just messed up, what was it? Cafe manager, stock, ingredients, stocks. Nah, we're doing ingredient amounts, that's fine. Okay, so that fixes that issue. There's no stock, so realistically you shouldn't be able to add it. Cool, that's actually working. Love that for me. I think that's it for that. Let's fix whatever is causing it to be defaulting to 0. I'm wondering if that's just because that is what I've got at default set. Oh, this is the wrong scene. Hell yeah, Max. What problem were you running into? It is hard setting itself to 3, so for it to default to 0, something must be awry. Applies attack collider and the boss's projectile colliders only collided at half of the projectile's collider. I figured out it was because I was not resetting the origin to 0, 0 and instead it was at the center. Ah, yep, that'll do it. So I guess what did you do to debug that? Was it just like you're able to see through debugging that you could see that the value wasn't at 0, 0? You could see that it was at a center pivot or something like that. I rendered the colliders and guesstimated where they hit, which was about half. Damn, yeah, true. Yeah, so I think the problem I'm running into here is they are defaulted at 0 just because when you have a save file, you haven't edited it yet. So if you haven't edited it, it's remaining at 0. There's two ways that I can fix this, but I guess if I'm being consistent, I should fix it in the same way that I just did it for the other thing, where we can check its amounts here. So for each item in recipe data source, so exists. So we can have, yeah, another nested if statement. Very good coding by me. If in an if, yeah, yuck. So bad. If item dot amount is equal to 0. Oh, this is in a for each loop as well, and it's not going to like me changing this. I can confirm that though. If I just go item equals 0. Yeah, it doesn't like me changing it because it's being iterated on. Yeah, okay, so if that's the case, when this data is initialized, is getting done from the recipe list that I was in a second ago. So when it's loading this for the first time, it's adding the recipe data, ingredients data, IJ. So we can probably have if recipe status IJ equals 0, equals 1, else, and let's just add a comment on here so we know what I'm trying to do. This is the first time initializing this data, set it to 1, and then here we have data, so set it to the correct amount. Should fix the problem. I should always just go through this guy. There you go. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Cool. Alright, let's initialize that data correctly. That's very cool. Oh, I guess technically when I was doing that, the shop would have also been at 0. So this actually fixes an issue that I should have been fixing anyway, so that's cool. Yeah, damn. Alright. Kind of got everything I wanted to do in the space of 3 hours. I knew that today wasn't as hard as what I was setting up yesterday because there was a lot of copy paste. So I guess now I can try and find what I want to work on in the meantime. What do we got? I mean, I should just distinguish this by Just keep getting notifications left, right, and center. Let's go to save data. Let's just have a look at what other save data exists, and it might make me think about what I want to work on. I mean, it would be cool to type up the perfect recipe thing, but it's just like I'm so far away from that even mattering. I mean, the volume could just be like a thing to just fill out the rest of the afternoon. It's an easy thing to do. Staff is more of a big undertaking. Definitely, I don't want to start that in the last hour. Date. I haven't really set up any of the time system stuff, so that's a bit of an undertaking as well. Revenue, hiring fees, wages, follower change. No, okay, let's just do something real simple. Let's just do the audio. So audio. Do we have... I'm trying to think, like the last project I work on, they did have like a music manager and an audio manager, so that like was able to separate, okay, we're doing stuff on the music, but I'm trying to think if I just have one audio manager that then controls both of them. Nah, I guess for the sake of just making it as easy as possible for me, let's separate them. So we're going to go into scripts, managers, and we'll call them something a bit better than what those were. So we can call one music manager. Okay, I need to fix whatever it is that causes that, because if I have to click OK every time, like that, yeah, I'm gonna get tilted. So call the next one FX Manager. Do you want to open this workspace? Yeah, you do. Cool. Oh, what I should actually do before I do any of that is open this. Let's make sure there wasn't any additional work. Okay, cool. So we can just add this in and just go like adding in functionality for the shop. Cool. I think it's probably a good idea to, now that the game's in a stable state there, is like before I start messing with more things. Version control, yeah, doing it right, doing it what you meant to do. Alright. Got a weird feeling I didn't make that a private set on the last thing I just made an instance, and that was the ingredient list. Oh no, it was. Okay. This needs to be constantly speaking to the game data instance, but that's fine. Just because I'm doing both of those things at the same time and they're practically going to have an identical code is just, I'll set up the other guy as well. Oh, nice. It's even picked up that I use capitals now. I love that. It just needs to get that I do this every time. And then awake if... Okay. So... I think I'm kind of like only... Like I'm not even going to have audio in the project yet, but I guess we are setting up the save file syncing for it at least. So I think we are going to have... Call it private for now. It's going to be probably... Actually, I think it can be an int. We'll have to look at how I set up the slider. M underscore volume. Put you in here as well. It's starting to get a bit warm in here. Turn the fan on. Set volume, int value. So I'm going to say m underscore volume equals value, and then we need game data dot instance dot set. This is music volume, m underscore volume. So I think something I've like done at the moment, which I should probably change, is I think the volume setting should be kind of a client save file. So at the moment I've got everything saving into 3 save slots, and volume's included in that. So it means, technically speaking, if you were to go between all of your save files, each one could have a different volume value, which probably not industry standard. So I probably should create like some extra functionality that's like is just like a client save sort of thing, that it's just like volumes. I mean, volume is probably the only thing that matters for that. Yeah, it's literally just the audio values that I think should just be saved on the client, but easy enough to edit at a later date. I think I'll just get them syncing as I want them to at the moment, but I'll even just add it here as a to-do. Oh. Well, I thought my whole computer was about to crash just then, but I think it's just Visual Studio decided to go to sleep. Didn't have anything open and unsaved. No, okay. There he goes, he crashed. Goodbye. So what was I even doing? Yeah, alright, let's rip on I need to create some custom functionality to change the scenes from up here, because it is actually really annoying to come back down into find the scene folder. Like, I know I'm lazy, but surely. Okay, so settings panel, which means actually we're going to need to create a settings panel. So we can go scripts, UI, folder. Okay, so now that I think about it, I'm probably going to be doing something sketch here. So let's just do like a private void sync. No, it's going to have to be public because I'm going to have it on a button. Public void sync volume. And I think that's actually where we do this. Music Manager didn't make it. So we're going to have tons of things in here eventually to do things, but for now, I'm just going to have a private slider, m underscore sfx slider, music slider, It's been a while since I've done like volume slider sort of stuff. So I can actually value change. So this is where I want. So what am I doing first? The music. Public void update music volume m underscore music slider dot value. I need to actually double check. So I've got it. Have whole numbers. It's easy. Do that to the sound parent as well. Whole numbers. And this is where we're going to go. This is music. So music manager dot instance dot something to do with volume, wasn't it? It's set volume. and it needs an int, which is going to be this. I'm using whole numbers, so I'm allowed to cast it as an int. It's not going to cause any issues. And we can also run the same thing for public void update SFX volume. Okay. And we want to have something here that's going to be called public void close window. And when we close the window, music manager dot, I called it as, okay, so I do need to make, oh no, it should be public. I didn't instance it first, you clown, you absolute clown. Sync volume, sfx manager dot instance dot sync volume. That's just going to save it now after we close the window. So on enable, we're going to have a private void load volume. So in here we're going to grab game data dot instance var data equals u. I feel like I'm doing some silly things here. But I guess I can set the volume from here as well. It's a really gross way of doing it all, but it's going to work and it's not going to break anything. So we're pulling from the data. So we want music manager set volume equals data dot get music. M underscore music slider, get music volume, sfx manager dot instance dot set volume equals data dot get sfx volume, M underscore sfx slider equals that. I mean, I almost think that's it. Give it a crack. So settings panel already has the settings panel on it. Very convenient. Music slider, SFX slider. The close button. We need to initialize the data like every game ever is initialize it at max volume so it deafens you is what we need to do. Close window. Both the sliders need reference. Woo, woo, woo. Ease up, ease up. Might as well just do it one by one now. This is the sound effects. Update sound effects. And then you're the music. Update music volume. Yeah, exactly. It's like one thing that like it must be like an in joke or something. Like I don't know why every game you ever start is always like I mean, yeah, why is it always at 100% volume? I know like 100%, maybe it makes the most sense to just default it at 100%, but like surely every developer has ears, right? Like 100% is deafening. Like either decrease your 100% volume, which I can understand maybe you want to have your 100% really loud because some people might need it to be really loud. But like if that's the case, default it at 50. Like, come on, man. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Alright, so I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna default my music to 50 when it loads for the first time. So that's gonna get done when we initialize the data for the first time, which is going to be in game data. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. So I've got it set in here. So I'm adding some more magic numbers. Music volume equals 50. M underscore FSX volume equals 50. Alright, let's see what breaks. I mean, a way that I can test whether it's defaulting correctly is I can turn both of these values to be 25, so they're like low, maybe. Settings panel, let's turn you off. I need to... Settings button. You need to turn the settings panel on. And I didn't actually do the other thing on here, the exit button. You also, apart from doing that, you also need to turn yourself off. Alright. Let's create a new save. Didn't load. Yeah, one day I will learn. One day I will learn. To put the instance managers in the scene before trying to run the game. One day. I just call that audio manager and it should be SFX manager. Clear the save file. Okay, cool. It defaulted back to 50%, which is what I'm defaulting at. I had it set at 25. So now if I go, let's max the music volume and decrease the sound volume to 0. We close the window. That should save that. So if I quit out, come back in. There you go. Cool. Got the save file working for the audio now. Very cool. I did get that done a lot quicker than I thought it would. I mean, I knew it was a minuscule task, but... Man, I wonder if I can just refactor the audio now in the last little bit of the stream. What would it take? Okay, let's public static string client save. I feel like I can probably actually save this very easily. So create a new save file. So when we come to doing the game data save, can also do save system dot save game. Okay, but the save system save game is a large. Okay, so we need to probably create something new for that. Public static void save client data, we'll call it. Do it properly. Do it properly. Don't do shortcuts. So it means we might not actually need this for now. So we'll comment it out. If we do come back to needing it, we can set it up. Okay, so get a binary. I should really follow those words. Follow what words? Sorry, brain's shutting down. What's up? Do it right the first time. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just like, I think I actually hard pranked myself because I was thinking like, oh, the only data that I'm saving is like client data that I'm saving is going to be the audio, but that's a lie because I know on the settings panel I also have stuff to do with the full screen and resolution, so I know there's more stuff. So I was thinking of like, oh, maybe the client data is literally just only going to take in sound values, but I was just like, ah, nah. But if I ever build onto it, like make it, what's the word that they, expandable, right? Is that the word I'm trying to think of? Like, but yeah, trying to make it, build it expandable from the start, that if I ever do add something to it, it's easier than having to then rewrite the code to allow for it. So probably should go, don't have it open in here. Main menu, here we go. Oh, are you kidding me? I just called it all on the scene. Okay. Save slot 1. Okay, so I did do capitals. I just wanted to make sure. Naming conventions, making sure I'm getting those right as well. Close you, I don't need you now. So we can do client.save, cool. File stream. Then there's a new type of data that I've got in here as well. Alright, so now I need to create 2 different scripts called client data and client save data. Scripts. Save system. Cool, I have to do this for both of those scripts that I'm going to create. Really fun. Client save data. Did I just typo that? No, I didn't. Cool. So client save data is going to be the same as game save data. Woo. So it needs to be apparently serializable. And we're going to rip this out. It causes errors everywhere, but that's okay. Client data now. So client data is we can copy from game data. So you can rip him out of here. Take the getters. And then grab the setters. still... Oh man, there's so much things to do in here. Okay, so... if save system... Okay, so we don't have anything implemented for that, so let's do like static bool client data exists string path equals application dot persistent data path plus client dot save. Alright, so come back to you and save. Don't care about any of these guys. Don't care about these guys. Save client data. Okay, and then we can copy. So now that these are gone, in load, so save system now needs a new friend called public static client save data load client data. Just copy this whole thing. Okay, so I think that just worked straight away. Take that. Now we come back to this guy and we're gonna go call client data instead. Already lost the other guy, SFX manager, so we also need the music manager. Call client. And we also need the panel that I was just working on a second ago. UI is the settings panel. Data equals client data. Okay, that instantly fixed that. I think I'm actually going to make this a don't destroy on load. And he's going to exist from the first screen. Cool if it works. So there needs to be a manager in here now. That's going to be called client data. I am going to go sent app data sent just so I can see whether the file is going to be getting created properly. Where is blue state? All right. All right, we created client data straight away. Boom, no ref, no ref. Huge, 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 huge. I mean, what could have I possibly broken by changing sound? Huh. I control X'd. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, that's funny. That will do it. How easy it is to just break everything. Alright, client data saved. Oh, more errors. What is going on? Wait, it's save system that died just then, though. I've just like nuked something and I don't know what it is. So game data instance. Still calling all the fake debug stuff, so that shouldn't be breaking. Oh, I'm high. Should be that. Okay. Gotta love problems with copy pasting. Alright. If this still causes errors after this, I'm gonna be quite concerned actually. Client save made. Oh, it didn't break. That's good. So let's just rip through everything to test everything's working. I'm just going to set everything here to 2. Okay, that's all the recipes done. Let's change the audio. Let's make no, let's make them like 75%. Like around about there. Close. Saved correctly. Didn't say anything, which means the save data does already exist. If we come in, we can check these are still set up to, yeah, everything was 2, so everything should be on 20. Okay, that's all working, and then sound should be at 75%, which it is not. So we're gonna have to check what's going there. I mean, we'll just max them out this time. So let me just, I can run through the code at the same time. So music manager, set value. So in both the managers, we're setting the volume and we're closing it. We are syncing the volume. So let's just make it sure it's saving to the right place. Set volume, client data, set music volume. I'm not saving it. Okay, I know what's happening. Close this now. It's the last thing that I forgot to add into the client data thing is on destroy. Save. Save system dot save client data. This. So let's delete my 2 save files again and run it back. Run through all of my shopping chores. Let's just make the audio 100% this time. It's really Really a good way to just test it. Closes. Close. Client data saved successfully. I think that was missing from last time. Come on to here. Loaded slot 1 data successfully. Yep, 2022, all in. Cool, and the audio is set to 100%, so that's working as intended now. So now the check that we want to look for is if I create a separate save file, the audio should also be at 100% there. So it means eventually like this main menu is going to have its own options things where you can adapt the volume, but cool. Just double check. He has no data. Yep. And they're 100%. Cool. All right, we've set up client data. Woo, let's go. Sweet. I think that's pretty much the end of my day now. It's technically 15 minutes to go, but I don't think there's anything I can really do in that amount of time that I can actually work on and not leave something in a buggy state. So let's just so I can update it. Come on to here. It's offline. Just make sure there's no other work to get picked up. Nope. Cool. Go changed audio to be in a client save file. Hooked up functionality to save audio. Yeah, it's simple. All right. Let's see if so I think what's today? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah. So I got one more stream this week. So tomorrow, what am I thinking I'm going to do tomorrow? Let's look at the UI. So we've done the recipe panel now. We've done the shop panel. Done a little bit of the settings panel. Reviews is a way too big of a system to tackle now. Plus it's kind of involved on other features. So I think tomorrow could be the staff panel. So very involved because this is going to need to create. What's it going to need to be able to create? It's going to need to be able to spawn the staff people in as like a non-UI thing, but then yeah, we need to set up the recruitment panel, the payroll panel, staff status. Oof. That's a I think it's going to go across a few days to get that up and running, to be honest, but I think that is the very next thing to work on. Just double checking. Objectives is just like a who cares thing that can get added at the end. Cafe management is another end thing. Reviews realistically needs to just be in an order. So yeah, I guess staff panel. So I'll be working on the staff panel tomorrow then. So yeah, I'll be back online 8 AM Australian time. If you don't know what that actually is for whatever time zone you're in, once again, I'll just pop over to my channel. I'm assuming this is how it works. If you go across to my, I can hear myself talking, that's very sad. Go across to my schedule. It should hopefully be localized to whatever your time zone is. So, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I might see you sometime next week. So, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you later.